Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy lashing out after NATO fails to offer an actual timeline and a clear path for the country to join the alliance, calling the process absurd. President Biden is set to meet with Zelenskyy today to discuss U.S. support for the war-torn nation. For more, let's bring in former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO, Admiral James Stavridis. I don't know. Do you think, Admiral, it's good to have you on. It's good to see you, as it always is. I mean, everybody postures and says things. The President Zelenskyy knew it's just impossible right now. It's absolutely impossible. Don't we need to defend, doesn't NATO need to defend a member country to the full extent of what it can do? And nobody thinks that that's going to happen, given that there's already, a war that's 500 days old occurring there. It just wasn't going to happen. Did he just want a better timeline? And how can we pick a timeline now?
Well, first, Joe, any negotiator is going to come in high and hard. That's the way of the business world. It's the way of diplomacy. It's the way of war. So President Zelenskyy walks in the door with a strong line. He comes across frustrated, but he also, there's a subtext here. He's grateful for the assistance he's getting. The thing to remember here is you're exactly right. The NATO treaty, Article 5, says an attack on one member is an attack on all. So if NATO were to bring them in tomorrow, we would be literally in a war with Russia. That makes no sense. So the membership process is unfolding, I think, as quickly as it possibly can. Insofar as a timeline, Joe, I think that we are going to have to get to some kind of a Korean War-like armistice, a stop, a halt in the actual fighting. When does that occur? That's anybody's guess. But I would say toward the end of this year, Putin's burn rate, I'll use a private equity term here, Putin's burn rate is terrible. He's running through troops and equipment. Zelensky's burn rate is us, our patience. How long does that last? How long do we want to contribute the funds? I think those two burn rates are going to drive the sides to some kind of negotiation, probably late this year.
So the United States or the West at this point, you don't think is at war with Russia, and I'm just talking about a proxy war, because the critics of what's happening say that we essentially are in a proxy war against Russia, and that's it's kind of a frightening place to be. Do you think what we're doing is necessary, and how long? If you're talking about ceasefire, I guess you're going to cede what Russia already has taken. That's going to be theirs, and we're going to have to negotiate a settlement that gives them a large part of Ukraine, of the old Ukraine.
Let's wait and see. Our job in the West is not to predetermine how that ceasefire, armistice, negotiation comes out. Our job right now, and I think we're doing it well, is to give the Ukrainians the weapons, the tools that they need in order to establish the best possible position when that negotiation begins. And we have been gradually and incrementally adding to the weapon systems, from Stingers to Patriot batteries to tanks. We have moved to send cluster bombs, a controversial but I think correct decision. And we're probably going to see announced F-16s actually transferred. That's our job right now. Let's give the weapons to the Ukrainians. Are we in a war with Russia? No. We are supplying aid, significant aid, military capability to Ukraine, but that's different than NATO troops, U.S. troops actually shooting at Russians and the reverse. Let's hope we can avoid the latter.
I saw something, Admiral. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Now, I can't. I think it was a Republican, obviously. That's where we've seen it, which is, in and of itself, it's kind of interesting that a lot of Democrats are now neocons, it seems like, and the things it's switched, because you see the skeptics of what we're doing are invariably come from the right side of the aisle, and the left is all in on this. But it was someone said the idea that we're going to give another $150 billion to Ukraine is insane. I can't remember who. Someone said it, but I think it was. Is there anything to that? Are those cries going to become louder We've got a lot of issues here in this country, obviously, in terms of debt and everything else. I think if this just drags on another 500 days and it's 150 billion after 150 billion, and we don't have any weapons left, you saw that report. That's overstating it, but we do need to replenish a lot of these things. I mean, will those cries get louder, Admiral?
Joe, I think you're going to see increasing pressure from the right and I think from the left. And these are legitimate questions to ask about billions of dollars being expended. But let's do the numbers for a minute. This has been $40 billion over the last 500 days. Europeans have spent about $40 billion as well. Together, the U.S. and Europe, the principal backers, 55% of the world's GDP. We can afford to do this. It is far less expensive than what we went through in the forever wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. So it's not an affordability issue. You will see pressure from the right and the left. Joe, I think the center is going to hold on this. You know, pop quiz, what's the only foreign capital that Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi have both visited in the last year? That would be Kyiv, Ukraine. Right. I think the center will hold on this one.